Hey guys, and welcome back to Women Empowerment Wednesday. Today I have the beautiful Priya out of the UK. So I'm so excited that again we are going global. But today she's going to speak about domestic violence awareness, a charity that she actually is starting herself, hosting herself, and I want to be able to promote that. And then just like workshops and everything like that that she's doing. So, Priya, to start, can you introduce yourself and just share a little bit about the work you do today to support women?
Hi, yes, my name is Priya. Like you said, I'm based in the UK. I run my own organization called the Jessica Project, and what we do here is we support women and teen girls as well, impacted by sexual violence or domestic abuse. And we do a number of things. We do some empowering workshops, some educational workshops. We run structured trauma-informed recovery programs. We go into workspaces and colleges to have talks with youngsters, young people about healthy relationships, and deliver bespoke trainings and also hold survivor support groups as well.
Yes, and I love everything you're doing. And I believe it's so important to either avoid issues or if someone is going through like some type of domestic violence situation, for them to be able to know that they're not alone and to be able to navigate it in a healthy way. So you're doing a lot of great things. I know that you've impacted so many people so far, and hopefully this video reaches 1,000 more to be able to impact to let them know that there is a safe space for them. Um, so with your journey, I know that it's rooted in a lived experience that you had. So what feels most important to you to share, about your story with domestic violence?
Do you know what? I think that it's important to talk about it because it's such a prevalent issue. There's so many women globally being impacted by abuse of some form. And actually,
Mhm.
statistically, every 10 seconds globally, a woman is being murdered by a male.
Oh
So
my
that could be like a
gosh.
partner, ex-partner, a stranger, a family member, a friend. Um, yeah, and that is a scary figure, isn't it, when you think about globally what's going on? And so it's important we talk about it because with silence comes the shame and the stigma,
Hmm.
but to the wrong person. It's not the survivor who should be holding those things. So it's really important to talk openly and be honest about experiences because that's how we can raise awareness, educate, and aim
Hmm.
to hopefully end it and stop this going forward.
Yes, and you had like a lot of good points. And so, to the points that you made at the time, did you recognize that you were experiencing was abuse, or did the realization become like later?
No, I didn't recognize. And I think that's one of the problems. I was not very aware or educated in abuse or sexual violence, things like that, what they
Hmm.
were. In my head at that age, I was just 18 at the time when this started. I just thought
Hmm.
domestic abuse or domestic violence was when a husband beats up his wife. I didn't know
Yeah.
about this could happen in a not marriage, just a boyfriend and
Hmm.
girlfriend. I didn't know it could happen emotionally,
Yeah.
psychologically, sexually, and not just physically. But although there was physical abuse as well in there, it was confusion, wasn't it? Because there's like a Dr. Jekyll and Dr. Hyde in there, and then you kind of think that maybe it wasn't quite as bad as what I thought it
Hmm.
was, or perhaps this was an accident, or I did something wrong. Didn't really recognize it as a pattern that it clearly was. That now looking back, I can see. Yeah.
Yeah, and so what again, I love that you've turned like your pain into your passion and you're able to help like other females recognize this too because sometimes again, when we isolate ourselves in these situations, we don't reach out so we don't have the resources. But you on the other hand, regardless if someone's dealing with it or not, regardless if you know, you're still putting the resources out there to let people know like if, this sounds familiar or if this looks familiar or there's resources here for you to navigate this. So it's huge. So, what were like some emotional or like mental challenges you faced while you were in that situation?
Oh, the foggy memories was something I really struggled with. So I was being really quite traumatized. And what would happen with your brain is a very powerful tool, and it was kind of hiding the memories at the back of my mind.
Hmm.
So I would kind of forget what happened or the full story, and then my ex-partner would then use that as a manipulative tactic to kind of make me think it was in my head and nothing really happened, or somebody else did that to me. So it was really, really mind games, and I was really struggling with that. And then later on, when I left that relationship fully, I experienced stalking for a long period of time, and it meant that I was suffering with trauma, actually, post traumatic stress disorder. I was had a lot
Yeah.
of those symptoms like hypervigilance, panic attacks, things like that, and lost confidence as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not easy. And like you said, sometimes they manipulate your mind to the point where it's like you have to keep notes to make sure, like, no, this did happen and it happened on this day. And you start like feeling crazy, like you said, and kind of going through the motions. And it's not a good place to be at all. Because again,
No.
like you said, you lose your confidence, you lose your self-esteem, and then, you can't function fully at your full capacity. And that's kind of like where they want to keep you. So was there like a specific moment where something shifted and you knew that you needed to get help? Like, this isn't normal. I have to get out of this relationship.
For me, there was an incident that happened. Actually, I was out of the relationship when this happened. So I knew I had to break up with him. But the problem is we
Hmm.
worked together. And so every day when I would go back into work, the harassment would just start and I wouldn't be left alone until I could agree to kind of forgive. And then I'd be stuck in that cycle.
Hmm.
And I think one day it just broke me and I refused to go back to work for a couple of days. I took
Yeah.
some time out. And when I did come back, I was just like, no, I cannot forgive you this time. And then that's when actually the stalking escalated really bad because I think he knew that something had changed and I wasn't going to change my mind this time.
Yeah. Yeah, and definitely. And I'm again proud that you took that step forward because it's never easy, guys. Like making those decisions to kind of leave someone that you once, saw yourself building like a relationship and a foundation with and just completely leaving them alone. And then again, when you add the stalking with it, it's like, okay, now you're trying to leave them alone and it's always harder to leave. People may say like, no, the hard work is in staying. No, the hard work is in actually leaving and then just completely being done. So yeah, I'm happy that you did the right thing. So as far as like the first steps towards like safety and recovery, what did that look like for you? Or like, what are some tips that you can give ladies who may be experiencing this or know someone who's experiencing it?
You know what? For me, sadly, I didn't know what support there was available. So I
Okay.
suffered in silence for a very long time and tried to live with trauma, but tried to live a very normal life. And so I actually came through it eventually on my own by trial and error, different things. So what I would say to people now and the position that I'm in now, I'm so lucky and blessed that I can support
Mm-hmm.
others and guide them in the ways that they don't have to spend such a long time in such a lonely place.
Yes.
But please tell somebody that you know and you trust. First
Mm-hmm.
of all, disclosing is so, so important, and you can come together and look at things that can help you. But there's so many options out there. You can speak to the police, you can speak confidentially to your school if you're at school or college.
Mm-hmm.
There are safe people there that you can communicate with, who can point you in the right direction. In the hospitals as well, if there's been a sexual assault, you can
Yeah.
collect forensic evidence there as well in hospitals and SARC centres, we call them in the UK, which is a
Mm-hmm.
sexual assault referral centre.
Okay.
Um, then there's also advocates, like I am in the UK, an independent sexual violence advocate and an independent domestic violence advocate. So I'm dual qualified. And they can support you through the justice system, the court processes, help you
Mm-hmm.
get safety measures in place, safety planning, and things like that. And also refer you to other services that can help, like trauma recovery work with counselors,
Mm-hmm.
recovery programs, and things like that. So there is so much help out there, and building friendships in like peer support groups as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really good way to build your confidence back again.
Yes, and I love that you listed all those different resources. So if you're watching this video, if something resonates with you in the video or you know someone that's going through, please reach out. Like I'll have Priya's information below as well, but you can always reach out to me because again, like we want you to know that this is a safe space. We're going to provide you the resources that you need to get you out of whatever harmful situation you may be in. And just know there's a community of people who are out here who love you and who will make sure that you're okay. And just don't, it's a scary situation, but don't be afraid to take that leap, especially when you know in your heart, your spirit, like something is wrong. You cannot continue to do this. And you may feel like they're a stalker. Once you like break free, the stalking and everything like that will increase. And that may be true. But the first thing is we just got to get you into a safer space, whether it's you, your kids, whoever. So please reach out again to Priya, I'll have her information below where you can reach out to her, or myself. Even if you're in the US and she's in the UK, I'm sure if you reach out to her, she can give like some referral sources and everything like that here in America, or wherever you are. You know what I'm saying? Just please reach out. Do not suffer in silence. And so, Priya, we know that healing from trauma is not linear. So, what did your healing journey look like in those early stages?
Well, it looked really, really quite bad. As I'm looking back now, as a much older person than when I was at the time, I was living with trauma without actually recognizing it. So when I wanted to be
Yeah.
a normal young girl, I wanted to go out with my friends and do fun things like they were doing, but I was very scared and hypervigilant.
Mhm.
So I would have to drink a lot of alcohol to actually feel comfortable in the clubs and the bars and
Yeah.
things like that. And now I look back, I think actually I had a really unhealthy relationship with alcohol without being an alcoholic as such.
Hmm.
So there was that, and I wasn't addressing my trauma in the right way.
Okay.
Um, and I was definitely, yeah, trying to bury it more than actually address it. So I'm
Yeah.
glad one day I felt the courage enough to actually say, no, I need help because I'm getting flashbacks and
Hmm.
intrusive thoughts, panic attacks, and I need to look after myself. And that's when one day I reached out on a forum, actually, an online forum, and I asked for advice about what was going on. And it was somebody who replied to me on there and said, it sounds like you have got PTSD. And that was the
Yeah.
first it didn't even cross my mind that that's what it was. And once I knew what the problem was, I could begin to address it. And then I started a trial and error process. I tried everything, hypnotherapy,
Yeah.
counseling. I even tried EMDR, which is a specific type of therapy designed for PTSD specifically.
Okay.
Um, but I found my right path. What I found is that not one thing works. Actually, you have to find a
Yes.
little powerful circle of things. So for me, it is actually the counseling did help, but getting
Okay.
back into the gym and my boxing, that's given me like a massive empowerment.
Hmm.
Um, Building new friendships with survivors as well who understand, have been through there.
Hmm.
That's been incredible. And helping others as well is so, so important to me. And it is part of my own healing as well. And educating
Hmm.
myself, becoming so highly qualified in this field gives me like a sense of power. So it's like knowledge is power. And then those things combined help me live my lifestyle that I live now.
Yes, and I'm getting chills because again, like you are walking in your purpose and you've used your pain again to be able to help other people. And like you said, service is huge, especially when you go through something this traumatic to let other people know that they don't have to go through it, like you said, suffering in silence. And so thank you for sharing. And again, like she said, rebuilding, everything looks different for everybody. So what may be work for you may not work for this person. So again, find your circle of whatever works, whether like it's the counseling or the workshops or whatever it is, reaching out, having like, again, that support system. Do it until you figure out what works for you. But again, don't heal in silence and don't feel like you're not making progress because with everything, with healing, with anything, like it's a little bit every day. And then, like you said, when Priya, like how she looks back and she's like, she recognized she really wasn't healing in the best way. She was just kind of going through the motions, which she felt like is what she needed to do. And so that's the same with all of us. Like we all have to trial and error and just kind of learn as we go along. Um, and so, what role did like your support systems, whether it was people, community, or resources, play in your recovery?
I'd say people is a massive one. I think surrounding yourself with the right circle, the ones who validate you and don't question
Hmm.
you. We have a lot of internalized misogyny going on, even in women,
Hmm.
not just men, who are sort of victim blaming questions or make victim blaming comments, which are really, really quite hard for a survivor to listen to and can make things a lot worse. So I feel like having those boundaries to have the right people around you is so, so important. Those that
Yeah.
make you feel uplifted, those who validate your experience and don't question
Yes.
your actions afterwards or during. Yeah, I think that is so, so, so important and under voiced about how important it is because really having a negative person around you or somebody who's bringing further negative thoughts to
Mhm.
you, it really can be damaging and is disrupting your recovery journey.
Yes, and every time they say a negative thought, or just even if it's not something directly to you, just hearing the negativity or just like the little Snickers, different things like that, like play a role. And again, like it's working against your healing journey. So just be mindful of that. And don't be afraid to separate yourself, healthy boundaries, in order to get you, to your ultimate goal of the healing process. So Priya, how was your understanding of yourself and your worth evolved since that moment?
Oh, I've rebuilt so much now. I honestly feel like I've become somehow the best version of myself through all of this. And I feel like
Yes.
it was all meant to happen. I know it probably sounds really cliche and everybody probably says this, but I feel like I was meant to walk through that so that I could be where I am today, which is every day I wake up again feeling really grateful for life,
Mm-hmm.
grateful to be here, grateful to be able to support and educate, empower other women and young girls. And yeah, I feel like I've gone from being, and I feel like sometimes the sad thing is sometimes becoming the best version of yourself can trigger insecurities in other people. We
Mm-hmm.
don't talk about that enough, but it really does. And along the way on that journey, you may lose people, but it's
Yes.
for a good reason. You're going to find the right people who are with you. Because I always say, those who can't be happy for where I am now probably didn't see me where I've come from. Because if they did, they'd be
Mm-hmm.
really proud of the person I am now, how I live my life now. And yeah, I just think it's great where I've got to now.
Yes, and we are proud of you. I'm proud of you. And like you said, and like you said, it's cliche, but like everything has to happen the way it happens. And then when you reflect back, you're like, oh, that's why that happened. If didn't anything happen to you, then this charity wouldn't be here, this organization. And so it was for you to walk through that path, that journey, and be able to make sure other people don't go through it. So everything always has like an ultimate purpose. And so as speaking of the charity, please tell us about your charity and like what kind of support you provide for the survivors.
So the Jessica Project, we are survivor led. That's the amazing thing. So I'm a survivor and obviously the founder, but also our team are survivors who I've worked with in the past over the years and wanted to come on board and join and volunteer and things like that. So that is really special in itself because the women that we work with then resonate with us and we have really deep discussions because we have real lived experience there. And
Hmm.
what we do is we have like face-to-face support groups where we
Okay.
have like teas and coffees and snacks, and it's just a place for them to come for a couple of hours, a safe space, and we'll do little things like coloring or journaling while we talk, and we'll do affirmation work and circle time, things like
Okay.
that. So it's a really empowering space. And then we also do one online because we've got nationally, we're quite a national organization now with all over the country. So we want to
Hmm.
give everybody the opportunity to be able to join us. So we do that as well. And then I've
Nice.
written my own recovery program. So I've got Reclaim Your Power After Sexual Violence program
Okay.
and Reclaim Your Freedom After Domestic Abuse program. And these programs are structured like 8-week programs delivered online, so everyone can join.
Hmm.
Um, they educate, empower, but also give survivors trauma recovery tools that they can incorporate into their journey of healing. And they're really, really open and discussion based. So our survivors absolutely love them. And then on top of that, we do bespoke trainings for other professionals. So I've trained like NHS, which is our hospital staff. I've trained police. I've trained social care, all different
Okay.
people. And then also have survivor workshops. So actually, just on Monday evening, we did collaborative misogyny and the manosphere, tackling those for our survivors, a little workshop. And then on Friday, I'm delivering a similar workshop, but to professionals, and that includes like police and counselors, other people who work in the charity, like domestic abuse sector.
Hmm.
And yeah, education is like a massive part of that and peer support. Sounds
Yes, and
amazing.
you are out here doing it. You are busy. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Making a difference. And it's so important. And again, it's coming from someone who lived this experience. So it's not like someone who hasn't witnessed it or went through it is trying to tell people, tell survivors, like, this is how you should act. You actually have went through the process and you've healed through it and you're using it. And I just absolutely love all these educational pieces that you're offering out to the community, again, to make it like a better place and let people know there are resources out here. This are, the red flags or notice these different things. And I just love you are doing so much. And so do you wish more people understood about survivors and their journeys?
I wish people would be more understanding of the healing journey not being linear, like you mentioned before.
Yeah.
I think there's this expectation that the survivor's just going to go like this and this and this and this. It's not always the case. Um,
Mm-mm.
I think we need to be mindful and compassionate, more understanding a little bit as a society. That there's going to be good times and there's going to be really bad times. And sometimes we're going to go
Yes.
back and forth. There's so many complications out there. There could be stalking, like post-separation abuse going on. There could be child court battles going on in that woman's life
Mm-hmm.
or survivor's life. Um, and all the other stresses and strains you get on with life in general. So
Mm-hmm.
there's no like this progress. It's going to be a journey, and we need to be respectful that it's going to be up and down. Sometimes it's going to be really down, and
Mm-hmm.
that's no reflection of like how we should treat them. Because I always tell the survivors, you know what? Don't just wait for the big win. Like celebrate every little win that gets you there, because that's
Yes.
what's actually making the difference. And don't worry if you've taken a few steps back this week. You've taken like
Mm-hmm.
thousands forward, and that's how we should all be celebrating them, because it's a real
Yes.
horrible thing to experience and has a very long lasting effect, unfortunately. And so, yeah,
Exactly.
be patient and gentle with them. That's what I would say.
And then give yourself grace too, because again, like Priya was saying, like it's not just straight, it's an up and down roller coaster. Some days are good, some days are worse than others. If you go back, don't feel bad, but just use that as fuel again to get ready to leave. Because none of us are perfect. We go through things and we all have different wants and needs, so it's just important to like recognize what's going on and then kind of moving forward from there. So you've created a pageant specifically for the survivors, which is so powerful. What inspired you to go that route?
Oh, it was just this amazing idea. So I actually took part in pageantry, and I became like a finalist for Miss Great Britain. And
Ooh.
it was a really great and negative experience at the same time, because during that experience, I would have liked to have advocated a bit more for what I stand for, which is violence against women and girls, as you know.
Yeah.
But the amazing thing is that I met the most incredible people, and there was a few of us who were all finalists, who were all survivors, and we just bonded really well and became really
Hmm.
great friends. And through that, we had this amazing idea. So actually, me and my friend Georgie, who was also a finalist, we made Crown with Courage together, and it's going so well actually. So we just started, and we've got some finalists lined up, and it's just to celebrate
Nice.
their recovery after experiencing abuse of any form. And what's going to happen is they're going to do trauma recovery work through the Jessica Project with my charity, lots of
Hmm.
support through there. We've also got a charity who does like a prom store, who's going to let them borrow a beautiful dress for the finals. And at the
Nice.
finals, it's not going to be about how pretty you are or what dress, who's got the most expensive dress on. They're actually all going to go up on stage and do like an advocacy speech about their experience. And that's how they'll be crowned with courage. But even then, there'll be like celebrations for each of them. And along this journey to the finals in October, we also plan like well-being days, connection days, so that we can
Hmm.
build friendships there. And the finals night, we're going to turn it into a big party. We've got like a DJ, photo booth, a beautiful venue.
Nice.
It's going to be awesome, and it's never been done. And this is not your typical pageant. This is a Priya and Georgie party celebration of recovery.
Exactly. It's like a pageant with a purpose. And I absolutely love it. And
Yeah,
soon you'll be going global. You got to come here to the US with that because,
yeah,
again, it's letting you know like this happened to you. You can heal from it. And then we're going to celebrate you for your progress, whether it's you haven't talked to them for 3 days or, 5 years later, you're in a healthy relationship. Whatever it is, we want to celebrate you because walking away is huge. And it
yeah,
takes courage. Like you said, crown your courage. It's not something that's easy. It will, nothing in life is easy. So just taking that step forward. And then you providing this pageant. This is huge. This is going to
I
be
know.
beautiful. Send me everything so I can support from over here. I can repost all the things. Like, this is going to be huge. Like, we're going to blow this up.
Yeah,
Um, and so
it
then along
is.
with the pageant, you're going to do like well-being workshops and confidence building, like workshops and things like that too.
Yeah, for the survivors,
Okay.
they got, yeah, we've got actually got a confidence coach who's going to be coaching them throughout to rebuild their confidence. All the trauma recovery work we do. We're also developing special workshops. We've got like a top NHS hospital doctor who
Okay.
specializes in sexual health. She'll be doing like workshops with them as well.
Oh
They'll
my
be doing our recovery
gosh.
workshop. It's going to be incredible. So these women are going to be so empowered. So yeah, it's going to be a magical experience. We're just so
I
excited.
love it. You should be so proud. You and Georgie should be very proud of yourselves. Like, this is going to be
Thank
huge. Make sure you get like the
you.
news on it, everything. We are blowing this up everywhere. For women listening who may be in like a similar situation right now, what would you want her to hear?
Um, I want her to hear that I know it feels really lonely, but you're not alone if you know what to go to, where to
Mhm.
go, what there is out there. I think that education is so, so important because you find you're really, really not alone. I mean, in the UK,
Right.
it's 1 in 3 women are impacted in some way by violence or abuse, from their partners. I don't know the statistically off the top of my head about the US, but I'm sure
Mhm.
that that's similar. So you're definitely not alone. And I know it feels lonely, but there is help out there and you can be free.
Right. And so, thank you so much, Priya. You have offered so much great information, great resources. So, if someone wanted to reach out to you just to learn more about the foundation that you're creating, a charity group that you're getting together, the pageant, or just want to talk to you just to get like advice, how can they reach you?
Oh, that would be amazing. I'd be gladly take anyone's
Mhm.
comments, messages, and things like that. So you can either email me, it's just the Jessica Project at outlook.com, or I'm on
Okay.
Instagram and Facebook, and I can share my links with you as well by email so that you can share them with your network. And
Yes.
some of the programs that we run are actually in the UK evening time. So people from the
Okay.
US would be able to join these things as well. If there is people that want to like jump in, we will be more than glad to support and be part of your journey.
Definitely. And then as far as the links that you're going to send me, that's going to include your program too that they can sign up for.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we're going to have all the links below, but please, 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 if you know anyone who's going through this, if you're going through this, there's signs, please look at Priya's information with the her organization and reach out to her. Use her as a resource. Reach out to me. Again, you're not alone. We never want you to feel alone. We will navigate this together and get you in the safest situation possible for you, your babies, whoever. And yeah, just please reach out. Do not hesitate. This is a judgment-free zone because we've all been there. Priya's been through situations. I've been through situations, and we just want to let you know that there's a safe space. So thank you so much again, Priya, for coming on. And as always, if anyone wants to come on Women Empowerment Wednesday, please reach out to me. I'll drop all those details below, but have a blessed Wednesday. And I can't wait to see this event in October. Like, this is going to be huge. Oh my gosh, it's going to be so huge. I'm so proud of you. Like,
Thank
it's
you.
huge. You're welcome. But that's all we have, guys. So talk soon.